Hello and welcome to the steering column section of this build. Now, as I was inspecting this part, I noticed a strange issue. And for some bizarre reason, the steering housing got bent, even though this car has no history of being in any accident. The damage can be seen when rotating the housing taken from the car, and as you can see it's bent exactly in the middle, whereas the one bought as used seemed to be straight up on comparison. The damage to the steering column shaft can be clearly seen at the center, where it had been scraping the steering column housing. I also tried to have the lower part fixed by having it taken to an engineering shop, where it was welded, machined and ruined to the point that it was useless scrap, because it was not welded properly due to having so many inclusions as seen in the black crevices. On top of that, it was not machined properly due to being under the original tolerances by 0.8 of a millimeter in diameter, and it was not finished off by being polished. At least having the replacement unit was brilliant. Sure, the shaft wasn't perfect, but pretty adequate. The shaft was measured to verify that everything was within the right tolerances. However, there was some damage to the top threads of the used shaft. But no problem, I just swapped the telescopic shaft from the car onto the other shaft, and there you have it. I finally have me a proper steering shaft unit. So having many minor issues from either shafts, I just chose the best parts out of both units and built me an awesome piece at just under 90 euros. And including in the price was a brilliant ignition switch with a set of 2 keys. Here's the steering unit laid out in bits and pieces, where I've selected the best bits for reassembly. So with that, I'm going to put this mounting clamp with its assorted parts aside to concentrate on the assembly of the main shaft. The only hindrance which backed me up a bit were these hollow pop rivets, which resulted impossible to find here in Malta, so I gave up wasting time and opted for these closed-end blind rivets. Now I opted for the closed-end blind rivets rather than the standard domed head for one specific reason. Having worked on Land Rovers and using at least 3000 rivets on them, one would learn that the domed head rivets tend to lose the ball if exhibited vibration, badly popped, or in time due to corrosion. So due to working on a rotating steering shaft, if a rivet ball falls in and finds its way in a steering column bearing, the possible outcome would be catastrophic. For example, the steering would jam, and you do not want that at any speed. So as a result, the close-end blind rivets are far more reliable, even though they are nearly 2 mm longer than the original. But no worries, the rivets are still clear at a safe distance from the shaft. The rest of the parts were reassembled properly, and once done, the ignition switch was installed. However, one may notice this strange bolt. This is called a shear bolt. Their purpose is for safety, so they need to be tightened to the point where the neck would snap off. Once the head of the bolt is snapped off, anyone trying to steal the car would find it impossible to undo the ignition switch, unless they bash the hell out of the casing, which would break easily since it's made out of cast aluminium. So armed with that knowledge, I just tightened the bolts just before they snapped and with the help of some removable thread lock, just in case I need to remove it in the future without any hassle. With the steering column now fully assembled, it was installed back in the car, and after all that, the steering column was tested, which worked out brilliantly. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.